afternoon, everyone. I'm very delighted to welcome both of you. Pranaj Johri, as a publisher from Rajpal and Son, family publisher success story, I can say, 4 generations. And I'm also very pleased today to welcome Stefano Sampietro for the first time. It's our first meeting together. Stefano is a foreign rights manager for Indian languages and Asian languages and some other European ones. And you are from Gallimard, Madrigal Group. And I wanted to ask to both of you the impact of the lockdown, but on your activities as publisher, in terms of sales, in terms of identify new titles during this dark period, because we all have time to read maybe more, but maybe also ask you now at the beginning of the post-lockdown, what happened? What are your strategies? Do you have a new strategy for the commitments? Thank you.
So,
Stefano, you want to go first?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm in charge of sales. So I don't search for new titles. I can't answer on this, but for sales, during the lockdown, I was astonished that people from foreign countries were always interested in acquiring titles, and this is very good. And as for the French market, bookstores opened yesterday for the first time, and it was a big success. So I think we have to be optimistic for the future. This is a really good news. And I don't know if the publishing world will really change. France is a very traditional market. It's a very traditional readership. We are not really for print on demand or this sort of things. People want books, real books. Even ebooks doesn't work very well. So I don't think it would change very much. What it will change now is that there will be much less books in the market. For the rentrée littéraire, I think that we will publish the 20% of books that were reviewed. And this could be interesting because we can work better these books. But I'm afraid that for new voices, for the debut novels, we have to wait next year. And so I don't think Pranav in India.
So in India, we had about 6 weeks of complete shutdown where print book sales were completely suspended. Bookstores were closed and online sellers could not sell print books. So that diverted a lot of people towards ebooks and audiobooks. In many ways, India is similar to France as a book market because it is very traditional. It's dominated by independent publishing houses. In many cases, like Gallimard, family-owned publishing houses. In many ways, it's quite similar in structure. It's not like some of the other markets like the US, which is dominated by a few big multinational publishers. And the reading habits are also quite traditional in India. People do prefer print books for reading. And ebooks till now have struggled to go beyond 2% or 2.5% as a percentage of the total book sales. In some markets, it's already up to 15 or 20%. In India, it's never gone beyond 2 or 3% for large publishers. So we've seen sales getting diverted towards ebooks. We've seen sales getting diverted towards audiobooks. And it's something which, as a publisher, I feel happy that at least we could get that content to people. I mean, at a time when people were hungry for content where print books they could not access, we could at least get them that content. In most parts of India, bookstores started opening from last week in very tentative ways. So there's limited hours of operation and a lot of restrictions in place in terms of the number of people who can go into the store at one point of time. But it's been heartening to receive reports from our book selling partners from different parts of the country that a lot of people are saying that, okay, if we cannot come to the stores, can you deliver books to us? And many bookstores are looking at getting into the regular habit of doing home delivery of books, which is good for them that because they can at least get their stocks moving, get the books to people who want books. And also as a long-term perspective, I think it will be good to have individual bookstores also having a share of the home delivery part of the book business, which till now has been dominated by only Amazon globally.
Amazon,
so it's good that booksellers are also getting into that. And that's one kind of change that I can see which might sustain for a long period of time.
And but as for the ebooks and in particular for audiobooks market, do you work with some subscription, unlimited subscription system, or just to buy one audiobook at a time?
So we have both the one audiobook model, which is called the a la carte model, and the subscription model. In India, typically the subscription model works well for digital services. So even for audiobooks, there is a subscription model. Same for ebooks, and typically that works well because people pay like a monthly subscription fee, which generally is not very high, and they're able to access the entire collection. When you look at a per unit, it almost becomes the subscription fee itself will equate to maybe 2 units of an ebook. So the cost of 2 units will become the monthly subscription fee. So people find more value in having the subscription. So we have both.
Both, okay. Because in France we have not unlimited subscription for audiobooks nor ebooks. We are not that.
So it sells as individual units.
Yeah, there is not a Netflix of audiobooks. That doesn't exist.
Okay.
So this is hard to us to sell audiobooks in the foreign countries because of this. Because I repeat myself, it's like the traditional readership, the traditional market in France.
So it's interesting that even when we had Kindle coming into India 5 years ago, and we've had various audiobook companies. The big ones globally are known, like the 2 big ones are Audible and Storytel. And they've all been pumping in a lot of money in marketing and in promotion to get people to adopt to these formats. And the adoption was quite slow, but because of the lockdown, suddenly it spiked up. So while India is also a very traditional market like France, but I think the people adopted to these formats because the hunger for the content is there. And I was reviewing some of our ebook reports, and books which otherwise say sell a particular number in print, our ebook unit sales for the last 1 month, for the month of April, have exceeded the unit sales of those books in print.
Yeah, we have Audible in France, but you have just 1 audiobook per month. So it's not an unlimited subscription. It's a subscription, but only for 1 audiobook that you can choose each month. Christina, we can't hear you. Okay. Because I saw you are trying to speak. Say something.
I wanted to know, Stefano, the policy in Gallimard on online book sales. And did you observe an increase of the online book sales during the lockdown, or no?
Yeah, yeah. Of course, there is an increasement of sales. I have not the exactly increasement, but it's normal because bookstores were closed. But I don't know if in the future it will change.
Yeah, yeah.
This is the very question I think we have. It was a particular situation, but this particular situation changing the future or not? This is the real question. I think French publishing house are going to have. Yeah.
And can you tell us more about the opening, the new opening of the bookstores, not only in Paris but in France? And is it? You mentioned that it was a success.
Yeah, yeah. I can. I mean, in my neighborhood, I went out yesterday, and I was touched by this because you have the queue of people waiting for for coming back to bookstores because they wanted to buy books, and it was very.
Did you take pictures?
We are in Paris. We are in the south of Paris. Okay, but I don't know if the rest of France is the same thing. But it was very. I think we have to be optimistic at work. I don't think that the publishing world was the most problematic word. If you like, if you work in tourism or in a restaurant, this is a real problem right now. But as people need content, as Pranav intellectually said, and need content, need novel, need stories, need culture, and it's very
And Stefano, do you prepare the rentrée littéraire in another way this year? Do you reduce the number of titles?
Yeah.
What's the strategy? With Gallimard, but also the general tendency of this new rentrée littéraire.
The program of the rentrée littéraire is to be defined, but I think we are going to publish.
Stefano, your audio is not very clear.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Is it better now?
Yeah, much better. Much better.
I'm sorry. The program of the rentrée littéraire is still not be confirmed, but I think we are going to publish 7 or 8 novels by big authors. So we are not going to publish new debut novels, debut authors, and I think it's to preserve them because it's not time to take risks and launch a really good author in a moment that we don't know very well. Because if debut author is not successful, the risk is that he's going to disappear, and we don't want this. So, this is the plan.
Are you worried, Stefano, about the impact of all of this, which is going to have on literary festivals and book fairs? Because the kind of fear that's happened in people about social distancing, about not going to places.
I think that we have to wait next year to see book festivals like before. This is the season in France of the small book festivals. They're amazing book festival in Lyon, etc., and this is a real lack of this. But I think that this is this is a pandemic. It will pass, and we can return and be back to the normal situation next year. But I think so. Yeah, I'm really afraid for the small independent publishers. Yeah, this is the real problem in France. I think because can you cannot manage this situation, and close, and this is the real danger in France.
Do you think that they will be absorbed by a group or by bigger publisher, or they have to close?
It's possible, yeah. If you not have money, you have to sign.
Yeah, that's
possible. No?
I think in India, we, as a publisher, we are worried about the impact this is going to have on literary festivals and book fairs. Because starting from October all the way till February or March in India, it's the season of literary festivals and book fairs. So we have major festivals like Jaipur and New Delhi World Book Fair in Kerala, and those, I mean, they're very important from the perspective of creating that connect between the authors, the books, and the readers. And while some of that activity has shifted online, but I think that physical connect is very important. And this will be the first year in decades when that will not happen in India. So as a publisher, it is something that I worry about, that what would be the impact of not having those physical connect, not having those events where thousands and thousands of people gather because they love the books, they love the authors, and the authors also get those big audiences where they can talk to them, and there's a very good energy that gets created from these events. And I'm worried that that will not happen for the first time, I think, in 4 decades.
I think it will be less stronger in France, because the presence of the authors in the media is very, very high in France. I think it's the only country. I'm Italian, and Italy it's not like this. Author are always on the TV, etc., etc. There are a lot of famous authors, so I think it would be less stronger in here.
Yeah, in India. I wanted to mention and to inform both of you that, as you already know, Paris Book Fair, India Guest of Honor, cancel. Étonnant Voyageur in June, cancel. But between, we have Assise Internationale du Roman in Lyon, at the Villa Gillette. And it started yesterday, no, on Monday, for all the week. And they all shift online. And I realized some short videos with 5 Indian personalities from the literary world, Indian world. And so we invite, with this video, Sanjoy Roy to speak about the Jaipur Lit Fest. 2 Indian writers translated in French this year, Rajpal Parajili, Emmanuel Colas, Fuir et Revenir, Anuradha Roy, published by Actes Sud. I also invite in a video Rajesh Sharma, who is the director of the Indian collection at Actes Sud. And then I also interview Kanchana, who is the only French bookstore in India based in Calcutta. So we have a small focus on India this evening in France, and tomorrow too. I wanted to mention. But you're right, Pranaj, that there is an impact on the festival in India and on the big season of festival between October and February. So, but I'm an optimistic woman, so I hope that even if we reduce maybe the scale, we will keep really meeting debates with between authors, translators, publisher, and readers. I hope so.
Yes. So it was a good experience to read about the report from Bologna, because that happened as a virtual fair. It was the first major fair that happened virtually. And while it was good that that happened, but in terms of the business conducted and everything, it was a very small percentage of what actually happens. So while this is good to maintain the contact, I mean, this meeting between the three of us would have probably happened in the Gallimard office in March, or maybe at a nice cafe in Paris. But it's not like
it would
that.
be better.
Yeah,
it would be much better. Yeah,
but
I
but
agree.
at least it is good that we are still able to meet. But I think the you cannot replace or substitute the kind of
No.
relationship and business that you can do together, work you can do together when you are meeting. And
I agree. I can't wait to meet personally people and drink something. I don't know. It's another thing. I totally agree with it.
Yeah. And what about the Frankfurt Book Fair? Because I heard that they maintain the fair, but we don't know in which, maybe in a new format. Do you have any?
We still don't know if we will attend or not.
Okay.
We still don't know.
So there was a meeting last week with the president of Frankfurt Book Fair, and it was a Zoom meeting, and he said that as of now it stands, but they will take a final decision in middle of June.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
The
problem is that everything is unclear right now. We don't know what the virus will do. Firstly, and so it's impossible to say now.
That's
for us it's not very complicated because we can catch a train and go to Frankfurt. But I know for Pranaj, for example, from India, it's a little more complicated now.
Yeah. Did you have different relationship with the authors, or during this period, or it doesn't change a lot?
No, it doesn't change a lot for me.
For us, what we did was we started a virtual Meet the Author event on our social media platforms. So that has helped authors stay connected with us and stay connected with their followers over social media. So every day, an author comes live as our Facebook page and on our Instagram handles, and they have a 45-minute or a 1-hour discussion on a theme that is aligned with their area of writing, and then people respond to them with comments and questions, and then they respond to those. So that we've had now 42 such sessions over the last 7 weeks, and we've had close to 300,000 viewership of these sessions.
Okay,
so
but you know, for us, our most important authors wrote to the journal, this sort of journal of confinement. Donc Leila Slimani, Annie Ernaux, etc. And we published 3 times per day small text by our most important authors in a collection of, called Tract de Crise, and we have published them just a digital edition for free. And I think in June we will publish all the text in a volume in paper.
Okay, good.
That would be really interesting. It would be like all the different authors' perspective and experience of this.
Yeah, with an unknown text by Camus.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Would you have this for the authors that we have published with Gallimard?
I sorry.
Would you have this for the authors that we have published from Gallimard? Like for Patrick Modiano or David Foinkinos?
Not Modiano nor Foinkinos. I'm sorry, but Annie Ernaux, I don't know. No, not author that you are published.
What about Leila Slimani?
No, because Leila Slimani wrote a sort of journal in Le Monde. So she wrote, I think, 7 or 8 articles on this.
Okay.
But I can send them to you if you want.
Yeah,
it's interesting. Yeah.
It's very interesting, but I also hope that we don't have only new titles on confinement and on lockdown, but new ideas, new creativity, even if it's during the lockdown. But I hope that we don't have only my emotion during the confinement, your emotion. It will be interesting, but it will be a bit boring if we only have this kind of literary environment. If I may.
And moreover, I don't think that readers will look for this, for this kind of.
Just because we want to think deconfinement after lockdown.
Yeah.
And this is more dynamic, that you be closed in the only confinement and
I agree, but what is sure that it's that the vision of the world will change. So you have new new titles and stuff.
Actually, it's interesting because when we look at the books that have sold well in the last 1 month on ebook and audiobook, we thought that they would be more aligned with the things that people would be thinking right now, maybe like philosophy or reflection or
meditation.
Yeah, but it's not. Like, people are equally looking at fun, humorous books. People are looking at classic fiction. People are looking at different kinds of subjects. So I think a lot of people are looking for reading as an escape from this environment rather than to go deeper into that environment.
Okay. So maybe last question, because I think the time is over. What are your dreams or your hopes as publisher?
Dreams as a publisher, I'm not really a publisher because I just I don't know that I don't know that things remain the same than before. This is the first thing, because we are all afraid of for the future. So I mean, our work is the best job in the world. We sell literature, we publish literature, and I just wanted that it remains the same, and people that doesn't stop to read.
Yeah. Hannah?
As a publisher, I would say that my vision or dream is to be able to provide a platform to voices that we feel deserve to be heard because they align with, say, the values or the morals that we believe in. And that has been always the kind of guiding principle for me and for my publishing house. And it's something that I think gets further reinforced during such a time, because a lot of things that we take for granted, a lot of liberties and civic liberties or freedoms that we take for granted are right now suspended. So it becomes something which it further strengthens our resolve to make sure that we give a platform to ideas and voices and writings that align with the values that we believe in, and to get them to as many people as possible, so that those movements of freedom of expression, of equality, of those kind of principles becomes stronger.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Stefano. Thank you so much, Pranaj.
Thank you.
And hope to not to meet you, but really to meet you in Frankfurt, Paris, or Delhi.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.